I like that.
So you got to ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn from this? And then document it. Document it, because nothing is for naught. Everything you go through, once you've learned that lesson, there's somebody who wants to learn it and you can help them. I believe in turning your wounds into workshops.
I like that. He is dropping some awesome nuggets here. I'm like, gold. I'm grabbing onto this. I'm gonna listen to this again. I'm writing everything down. I have one more question.
Sure.
You are a speaker and you're married. How do you and this awesome woman, Ruben, I'm saying I met Ruben. Ruben is so wonderful and so fun to be around. And I'm telling you, she has this awesome business, and we'll talk about that a little later. Maybe I can get her on the show, but I'm telling you, when she set up your room, I was like,
it's off the chain, ain't
it? And she's off the chain. She is so full of fun and laughter. But tell us, how do you guys make it work? Were you going to Africa and she's going to Africa? Or you staying? How do you make that work? Because a lot of people don't have that success story.
Well, first of all, let me just take a moment to say that it's not unreasonable that we struggle in the U.S. They say that 50% of marriages end in divorce. And so I've been divorced before. And so you get to test, right? And if you reflect, you learn the lesson. And one of the things I learned is that we all went through, most of us all go through premarital counseling. When you get ready to get married, you go through premarital counseling. But can I tell you what the flaw I found in that, Felice, is that we go through the counseling when we've already made the decision of who we're going to marry. And you can't out-counsel a bad choice.
Wow.
You can't out-counsel a bad choice. We needed the premarital counseling before we ever started looking at who we were going to marry. So that way we would be making the choice based on the counseling we got. Now you fall in love with the person and then say, oh, let's go get counseling so we can make this marriage work. No, you got to get the counseling ahead of time. So when we got married, I was just older. I'd already done it before. And I had a better understanding of what I was supposed to do, what my role was, and then how we were supposed to grow together. And, we still have a calling. I don't go to these countries and stuff because I'm cool. I'm go because I believe I'm called. Like I got promoted to appointed Universal Peace Ambassador, World Civility Ambassador, the 2019 Civility Icon for the USA. And I remember thinking, why am I getting all this stuff? And what does it really mean? And I realized it's not about what they call me, but what I was called to do. Right. And so now nobody said that my calling was just going to be in Bloomington, Illinois. You got to be willing to go where God sends you. And then he makes provisions by who he provides for you. So she is very aware of what my mandate is, right? When she comes, everybody knows her. I mean, believe me, they know her at the hotel, they know her at all the church. Everybody knows her, and they always ask, "Where's Ruben? Where's Ruben?" And so we'll be going back in July together. I'm going to go back here in a week or so, but we make it work because we understand that we have a calling, and we can't get out of that mandate. Right. And if God can give us a grace to go fulfill the calling, he can also give us the grace for us to stay together. He can also give us the grace for us to raise our son in a way that he can fulfill his calling. And so I think it's really God's grace that does it.
I'm gonna ask you one more, maybe two more questions.
Whatever you want to ask me, I'm good.
Tell us about this awesome kitchen. I'm telling you, I was in tears when you did the unveiling because it just touched my heart. And I kept saying, that's going to be me one day. I'm going to build whatever it is that God has me to be over there, because you're setting a bright, let's say, trailblazer. You allow God to use you in such a way that is affecting people over here that's saying, I've got to catch on.
You see, one of the things I decided to be, Felice, is I decided to be a pioneer, not a settler. So many of us are settlers. Henry David Thoreau said, don't go where the path may lead. Go where there's no path and leave a trail. And so I decided to leave footprints, And that's really what this kitchen is about. We just got an idea during COVID. We reached out to some friends over there as if there was a way we can help. They needed some money for some food. We sent that. And then we said, is there anything else we could do? And they said, well, like what? I was like, I don't know, anything. And they said, well, the school does need a kitchen. Now, I don't even know that we was asking about that when I said, I'm like, do you need some shoes or something? You know what I'm saying? But it's what everybody believes in blessings. But most people believe in a blessing as what God can give to you, as opposed to what God can do through you. And so we have to realize that a blessing can also be done through us. And so we just decided that we'd be a blessing. And let me be honest, we didn't have a big pile of money just sitting there waiting to build this kitchen. We were instructed to walk by faith, not by sight. And so we just started doing it, just doing it and doing it and doing it. And then it's hard to explain the satisfaction. It's hard to explain in the midst of COVID, all the people working, because everything was done by hand, all the digging, all the carrying, because it's so hilly, they had to carry all the cement, every single brick, every single iron bar, every single bag of sand, every single thing. And you're going to see it when you're there, and you're going to be like, my God, this is amazing. But now we're putting this whole community of people to work, and they're all coming together, and they're coming together to help. And the women are cooking food for the men so they don't have to stop working. And I was like, he can use me to do that. You see, it's another lesson, it's another test, it's another level. And he said, wait, okay, if you'll let me use you in that way, then I'll use you in a bigger way, right? And so this kitchen is a 2-story modern kitchen that we built for the Glorious Life Learning Center. And now let me tell you some prophetic words to it. After we built it, I'm listening to Dr. Juma on a podcast. And he was saying how his wife started the school in 2017. And during COVID, they were contacted and told that they were going to have to close the school. And the reason they were going to have to close the school because they were no longer allowed to cook food at home and bring it into the school because of COVID. So if the school didn't have a kitchen on site, they were going to have to close the school. Are you catching what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know none of this. We had not heard any of that. This was not in our radar. And so when I'm hearing them saying, I was like, what is he saying? You mean that this kitchen we built helped keep the school open? And I was like, man, that's news to me. Yeah, but it wasn't news to God. All he needs is a willing vessel. Like, he already orchestrated the plan. He just needs people to walk out the plan. And so I can imagine him saying, let me see, I believe I can get Ruben to do it. Let me just lay it on his heart to make this phone call. And then when I made the phone call, we gave him the food and stuff, make another phone call. Is there anything else you need? And he said, well, like what? And then lay it on his heart to go ahead and speak what he gave you to speak. What do you need? And sometimes we know what we need. And when people ask us, we won't say it because we believe it's too much. It's too big. It's too expensive. It's not too big for God. He has the world in his hands. And so he had to get the confidence to speak it. And then when it hit my ears, I was like, kitchen. Babe, what do you think about it? Like, I'd never even heard of that. Like, what do you think about us building a kitchen? Like, I got excited about it. Now, watch this. You have to have a level of contentment. See, that's what stops most people from doing great stuff is they don't have a level of contentment. And when you don't have a level of contentment, there's always another pair of shoes. There's always another car. There's always another watch. There's always another tie. There's always another trip. So until you can feel comfortable with what you already have, you can never give at that level. But once you understand that another car is not going to change anything for me. Another watch is not going to change anything for me. Another tie is not going to change anything for me. But this kitchen is going to change the life of some people, And so then when we got it built, my mother was there in July and she came over to see it. She wanted to see it. My son's building a playground there. We built the kitchen there. My niece is building a 500 poultry facility to teach the women how to raise indigenous chicken. It's her Girl Scout Gold Award project. I'm the project advisor. And so my mom was standing there and she had no idea that her name was going to be on the building. It's the Rosetta West Glorious Life learning center, dining facility, and kitchen. And so she broke down. You saw the video. She just broke down.
Yes.
I was like, Mom, I'm like, we can't carry you up these steps now. Come on, stand up now. Right. But she was so emotional because she couldn't imagine her name on something like that, that her legacy will forever live on with the work that she's done. My mom is the original giver. That's where I learned giving from my mother.
Your mom is so sweet and she is so full of energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, she is so sweet and so full of energy. When I saw that, that just made me tear up. I'm like, wow, wow. Because when you hang, and I want to tell people this, when you hang around people, they always say, what is it? The 5 people closest to you
Mm-hmm.
are the influence your life the most.
Mm-hmm.
If you're hanging around people that are not influencing you to go higher, ask God to move them out the way. And when he does, leave them alone. That doesn't mean don't be friends with them anymore.
Right.
That means allow God to bring people into your life. And I can honestly say, since I have been friends with you and listening and coming in contact with you, I'm telling you, my mind is just expanded to, okay, I got to build something. What is it you want me to do, God? What is it you put in my hand to do?
And Felice, when you come here, watch. Your life will never ever be the same. It can't be the same. There's certain encounters that we encounter, and even if we wanted it to be the same, it can't be. Like it, Oliver Wendell Holmes said, once a man or woman's mind has been expanded to an idea, concept, or experience, it can never be satisfied with going back to the way it was. But we got the kitchen done, and me and my wife were like, what's our next project? You see, I'm like, it becomes the way you think, like, oh, what do we do next? Like this can't be it, because you really fall in love with giving, sharing, helping. Like you take on the heart and mind of God. Like, right? And then when he knows he can use you in that capacity, no telling how he'll use you.
Now, I like what you said, you take on that capacity, because sometimes we think so small. I remember I had been asking God for something. He says, you're asking me for a shoe. I'm trying to get you a shoe factory across the world. Okay, I want you to have multiple locations. And you're sitting here like, wow. And I often think about Abraham. Yes, I'm gonna take it to the Bible. We asked God for one child. He thought Ishmael was it. But when Sarah died, most people don't know in Genesis 25, Abraham got married again. And he had six more children, past 100.
Right.
You know, and so you're like, well, God turned him on. He stayed on. And that's how we should be. When God turns us on into that capacity, we need to be looking for more. We need to be increasing more. So Ruben, I want to ask you one more thing about your book. Tell us about your book, where we can get the book, and why you wrote it.
My Rose Preaching book, The Campaign Civility. So it's campaign civility. It's winning the hearts and minds of the people to win the election. And the reason I said it that way is because a lot of people feel like they have to win through divisive rhetoric. The way for them to win is divide the people and then get this group of people to vote for me. That's one of the things they experience over in Kenya is, Monday, one day they're a Kenyan, and the next day it's election season, they're a tribeman. And so now they're talking to the people of their tribe, and it's us against them. And wait a minute. And so what I wanted them to see is that you can win by winning the people's hearts and minds. You don't have to divide them. And then you do it through civility. And when we started talking about it and people started understanding, and as they started listening to it, it's really, really catching on. And so I just realized something that it was a quote, and I think it might have been Albert Einstein that said it, but I don't know. But they said, to dream costs you nothing, but not dreaming can cost you everything. And then watch this. If it's a dream, does it really cost or take anything more to dream larger than smaller? It's just a dream. So if we're going to have a dream, we might as well make it a big dream. So my dream was, I'm going to go be the civility ambassador for the country. I'm going to work with all the politicians, the leaders of the country. I'm going to install civility into the civic education system. Like I just decided, why not me? Like if not me, then who? Right? And when you realize, when you start thinking like that, it expands your minds to the possibility. So this book is called Campaign Civility, Winning the Hearts and Minds of the People to Win the Election. I did it in English and Swahili. Why? Because a lot of people there speak Swahili, so I wanted them to have a Swahili version. It's the first book I've ever written that has been translated to another level. No, sorry, another language, which is a new level for me. You see,
Right.
all these possibilities open up, and then what I didn't realize is how it would be so touching for them. They're like, "You speak Swahili? No, you did this for us? Yeah, wow!" And like automatically they like you. I haven't put the book on Amazon yet. I'm going to. I got it done there. I got it printed there. I got it translated and all that there. But I'll be glad to give you a copy of it when I see you in Kenya, signed
Yes.
by me. I'll give you the English version. Don't worry.
You know, I said I'm gonna start trying to speak a little bit of Swahili before I leave, because I know in the military, you know, they teach you how to speak German, and when you try to speak the language, it makes the people like you a little bit more, because you know you're trying to learn our language, and
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
yeah,
So
you
tell us where we can get a copy of your book, and then also tell people how they can get enrolled in Black Belt Speakers.
Sure. So you can find most all of my books online on Amazon. If you go to Amazon, type in Ruben West, I think I have 10 books, so you'll be able to find it. The Campaign Civility is not up there, but it will be. And then to get in my Black Belt Speaker program is blackbeltspeakers.com, blackbeltspeakers.com, blackbeltspeakers.com. And then it'll tell you, and you'll see that I have a online program, I have a live program, I do live events. But you can also reach out to me on any social media platform, Ruben West, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And I'd love to hear from you, but more importantly, there's probably somebody else waiting to hear from you. See, I'm just a catalyst to get you to the people that are supposed to hear your voice. Because what I know, Felice, is as great as I think I am, there's people that are never going to respond to me, right? If Joel Osteen shuts down right now, the people from his church are not going over to TD Jakes. If TD Jakes stopped right now, his church members are not going to Joel Osteen. They have their own crowd. They have their own following, which means each one of them are needed, which means my voice and your voice is needed, which means that the people are needed that are listening, their voice is needed too. And so it's not just about coming to work with me or doing my training. It's about getting you ready to go meet the people and connect with the people that are supposed to follow your voice and team up with you. And that's what I love doing.
Okay. Do you have any upcoming events in the States for anybody who wants to see you in the United States?
I am planning that. My wife and I were talking about that. She has her Mother's Day tea coming up, whatever month Mother's Day is.
May.
I'm kidding. May. I usually do my events in April and October. I'm deciding if I'm going to do it only because in helping with this campaign work, they're gearing up more and more and more. And so my job or my goal is to speak to all 47 million people in the country. Yes. I take it seriously, and I'm committed to getting it, at doing it. Maybe I won't reach 47 million. Maybe I only reach 46 million, but I'm still trying to reach the 40-something million number. I mean, why not, right? Dreaming big doesn't cost you any more than dreaming small. So with that being said, and the role that I'm taking, I have to just evaluate what the practicality will be, because as I get busier and busier and busier, but I know that as soon as I'm done with this assignment, I'll be back in full swing here in the US, preparing people to get their message ready and get it out and reach the world with it.
Well, Ruben, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking your time out. And for those who don't know, Ruben is in Nairobi right now, and he has sacrificed his sleep for us. And we want to say thank you so much, Ruben, because I know it's not I know it's not an easy task, but I thank you for pouring in to the people and pouring into me. And I hope that this has been a blessing for all of those. Ruben, do you have any closing words before we close out?
Yeah. Um, leave your mark. So many times um, we won't leave our mark. We work to not be out front. We work to not be heard. And I'm not saying be ego invested. That's not the kind of mark I'm saying. I'm saying that remember that you were created for a reason. You were created for a purpose. And sometimes we get lost and we even get wondering, what is my purpose? Like, what am I great at? What am I impactful at? What is my greatest areas of impact? And sometimes we have to look at what other people say to us. Like I never knew I was going to be a speaker. Remember, I told you, my uncle told me that. Then I had a nurse that worked in the hospital said, Ruben, do you realize you could speak to people? I was like, what? She said, do you see how the people gather around you when you talk, the doctors, the nurses? Like, you can speak to people, you can change people's lives. I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. I was like, right. And she was right. And now every book I write, they're all dedicated to Edwina Blackman. This new book, Campaign Civility, dedicated to Edwina Blackman. And I said, if it wasn't for you helping me to see that I had a voice, so many people would have been left untouched. And watch, you could speak to the world or you could speak to a world changer. You understand? You don't have to, that's why you don't have to worry about going to speak to a whole bunch of people. God may give you an assignment just to talk to one person. I felt like she fulfilled her assignment, which was just to wake me up. No, you're supposed to be out there. You're supposed to go to the nations. Really? She was right.
Wow. I just want to say thank you again. Now, for those who are watching, I want you to go back and watch it again. I want you to get a pencil and paper and take all this information down because, as he said, make your mark. God has called all of us. We all have a special gift, and in the Bible talks about a body. The eyelash cannot be the hand. And some things you may be doing or you may be called to, people may not ever see them. Like the nurse who was saying, everybody may not see her, but that one person she spoke to, he's now in front of the world and he's doing things and changing people's lives. So be the eardrum that no one can see, because without the eardrum, no, you will not be able to hear.
Yeah.
The whole body will begin to shut down and operate differently because there's no eardrum. So I want to say thank you for coming. And as usual, may God put peace and living in your life. And make sure you reach out to follow Ruben on these social medias. And don't forget to grab that book. So see you all next time. This has been your girl, Felice Renee, on the Peace and Living Today show. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful time. See you on the next episode. Bye for now.